All right, so are you ready to do a deep dive into a service manager career?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one of those careers that often flies under the radar.
But it's got some really interesting aspects, especially when you start digging into the details like we're about to do with this role catcher guide.
I'm excited to get into it.
Me too. First of all, the salary potential caught my eye. We're talking upwards of $70,000 per year.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No kidding. And it's a role that you find across so many different industries, so it's not like you're pigeonholed into one specific field.
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things that makes it so appealing.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. What exactly does a service manager do? It's not just about answering complaint calls all day, is it?
No, not at all. Think of a service manager as the hub of a wheel.
Okay, I like that analogy.
They keep everything connected and running smoothly. They supervise teams, manage client relationships, handle any issues that pop up, and they also ensure smooth communication between different departments.
So they wear a lot of hats.
They do. It's a dynamic role that requires strong organizational and people skills.
The guide mentions a bunch of different industries. Everything from policing and fire services to libraries. Can you believe that? Libraries.
It's true. Service managers are essential in so many sectors that we often take for granted because they work behind the scenes to make sure things run efficiently.
Right. We don't always see them, but we definitely notice when things aren't running smoothly.
Exactly. And that's why RoleCatcher emphasizes the importance of seamless service delivery. A good service manager is obsessed with making sure every client interaction is positive.
Regardless of the industry or the specific service being provided.
Precisely. It's all about exceeding expectations and building trust with the people you serve.
That makes total sense. So they're the link between those services and satisfied clients.
Exactly. They're the ones who bridge that gap.
All right, so we've talked about what they do and how important they are. But what's the day-to-day reality of being a service manager? Is it super stressful? Are you constantly dealing with angry customers?
It definitely has its challenges. RoleCatcher mentions that most service managers work in pretty standard office environments. Clean, safe. But yeah, there's potential for stress.
Especially when you're dealing with difficult clients or if things go sideways with a project or something.
Right. You need a certain level of resilience to handle those situations effectively.
You've got to have thick skin, right?
Yeah.
To handle those tough clients and the pressure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And adaptability. Things can change quickly in a service-oriented environment.
For sure. So you need to be able to think on your feet and come up with solutions. Speaking of solutions, RoleCatcher also mentions that technology is playing a bigger and bigger role.
Oh, absolutely. These days, service managers rely heavily on software and online platforms to streamline their work.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, customer relationship management systems are huge. Things like Salesforce or Zendesk.
Okay, yeah. Those are pretty standard these days.
They help you track client interactions, manage service requests, and just generally stay organized.
Makes sense. Because
Yeah.
you're dealing with a lot of moving parts as a service manager.
Exactly. You might have multiple teams reporting to you, each with their own projects and deadlines. So staying on top of everything is crucial.
And that actually reminds me, we haven't even touched on the career path itself. Like, how do you even become a service manager?
Good point. That's where things get really interesting. The guide actually highlights the diverse range of educational backgrounds that can lead to a career in service management.
Yeah, I was surprised to see stuff like criminal justice and library science listed alongside more traditional business degrees.
It just goes to show you that there's not one set path to becoming a service manager. It's more about having the right skills and the passion for delivering exceptional service.
So it's not just about the piece of paper you have, it's about what you bring to the table in terms of skills and experience.
Exactly. RoleCatcher does a great job of breaking down those core skills that are essential for success in this field.
What kind of skills are we talking about?
Well, communication is huge. You need to be able to communicate effectively with your team, with clients, with everyone.
Right, because you're the central point of contact for so many different people.
Exactly. You also need strong problem-solving abilities, conflict resolution skills, leadership qualities, time management, and even some budgeting and financial planning knowledge can be helpful.
That's quite a range. So how does RoleCatcher help you connect those skills to the actual job?
They provide real-world examples of how those skills translate into everyday tasks and responsibilities.
Give me an example. I always learn best from examples.
Okay, take management of personnel resources, for instance.
It sounds kind of formal and vague.
It does, but the guide breaks it down like this. It's about leading and motivating your team to provide top-notch service, even under pressure, even when they're dealing with difficult clients.
So it's about creating a positive and supportive work environment where everyone feels empowered to do their best.
Precisely. And that's just one example. They do that for all the core skills they highlight, making them much more tangible and relatable.
I like that. So let's say you've got the education. You're working on those core skills. You're feeling ready to launch your service manager career. What's next?
The job hunt, of course. And that's where RoleCatcher really shines.
Okay, spill the tea. What do they have that's so special?
Their interview prep tools are next level. We're talking over 120,000 potential interview questions. They've thought of everything.
Wow, 120,000. That's a lot of questions.
Right. And the best part is they have AI-powered features that personalize those questions based on the specific job you're applying for.
So it's not just a generic list of common interview questions. It's tailored to the specific role and industry you're interested in.
Exactly. It's like having a personal interview coach in your back pocket.
Okay, I'm sold. No more fumbling through generic interview guides, RoleCatcher to the rescue.
Precisely. They also have really detailed salary information, which is super helpful when you're negotiating your compensation package.
That's so important because salary ranges can be all over the place, especially in a field as diverse as service management.
Absolutely. And speaking of diverse, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about career progression within this field, because it's not just a dead-end job.
Right.
Right? There's room to grow and take on more responsibility.
Exactly. RoleCatcher outlines distinct career stages, each with its own set of responsibilities, leadership opportunities, and of course, earning potential.
So you can climb the ladder from entry level to senior management.
You got it. To make it more concrete, let's imagine a typical day in the life of a junior service manager, which is often that first step on the career ladder.
I mean, one day you could be making sure ambulances get to people in need, and the next you're brainstorming ways to improve library services. It's a wild range.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes choosing the right path so crucial. Do you thrive in high-pressure environments where every second counts? Or do you prefer a more predictable setting where you can focus on long-term planning and improvement?
This is where having a resource like RoleCatcher is invaluable. They don't just give you the facts. They help you figure out what those facts mean for you personally. And that's what we've tried to do in this deep dive too, to go beyond the job description and really explore what it's like to be a service manager.
To give you a feel for the day-to-day realities, the challenges, the rewards.
And hopefully to inspire you to consider this career path if it resonates with what you're passionate about.
Because, let's face it, service managers don't always get the recognition they deserve.
That's for sure. They're the behind-the-scenes heroes who keep so many essential services running smoothly.
And we rely on those services every single day.
We do. So if you're out there listening and you're intrigued by what we've discussed today, don't hesitate to dive deeper.
Head over to RoleCatcher, check out their guide, explore the different industries, the career paths, the salary ranges.
You might just find your perfect fit.
And hey, you might just become that unsung hero, making a real difference in the lives of others. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of service management.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.